Zak Bagans Haunted Museum isn't just a place, it's a performance, a spectacle where fear is sold in ticket form and belief is the product. Behind the flickering lights and whispered warnings lies a business that has turned ghost stories into gold. Bagans, known to millions from ghost adventures, has built an empire in Las Vegas on a simple formula: sell the illusion of danger, cloak it in mystery, and charge admission for the privilege of being frightened. He presents himself as both collector and protector, a man brave enough to house cursed artifacts too dangerous for ordinary people. Dressed in his trademark black, sunglasses on indoors, he speaks of demonic attachments with the gravity of a priest and the showmanship of a carnival barker. The Haunted Museum, an 11,000-square-foot mansion filled with over 30 rooms of so-called cursed objects, is marketed not as entertainment but as an authentic encounter with the supernatural. Visitors aren't told they're walking into a haunted house, they're told they're entering a sanctuary of evil. The branding works. Before guests even step inside, they're greeted with legal documents that set the tone. Each visitor must sign a waiver acknowledging potential injury, fainting, or demonic attachment. They are warned that spirits may follow them home. A pre-tour video plays clips of people collapsing, crying, or gasping in terror. By the time the doors open, the human mind has already been primed for fear. Every sense is heightened, every sound loaded with meaning. Bagans knows that the strongest hauntings begin in the imagination. The experience unfolds through dim corridors, flickering bulbs, and narrow rooms packed with props, antique dolls, Ouija boards, paintings said to move when no one's looking. Guests are kept moving quickly, rarely given time to analyze what they're seeing. The lighting, fog machines, and constant narration ensure a sensory overload. The air is hot and stale, and the 2-hour tour allows no breaks. Many visitors report dizziness or nausea, physical symptoms the guides point to as signs of spiritual activity. Critics note it's more likely heat exhaustion than haunting. In this controlled environment, every reaction becomes evidence. A gasp, a shiver, a fainting spell, each is proof that something otherworldly has taken place. What guests rarely realize is that nearly every artifact in the museum has been debunked, disputed, or entirely fabricated. Yet belief persists because the performance is seamless, the illusion powerful. At the center of it all sits the museum's most famous exhibit, a wooden wine cabinet known as the Dybbuk Box. Bagans calls it the most haunted object in the world, warning guests not to touch it. Its legend is cinematic: a Holocaust survivor who trapped a malicious spirit inside, generations haunted by misfortune, and an antiques dealer who ignored warnings and unleashed chaos. The story grew online, evolving through retellings until it became internet folklore. But the truth is far less dramatic. Kevin Manis, the original seller, admitted he invented the entire story when he listed the cabinet on eBay in 2003. He carved the Hebrew letters himself, added trinkets like locks of hair and stones, and fabricated the backstory as creative writing. Scholars later confirmed that no Dybbuk Box exists in Jewish tradition, the concept was his invention. Despite this confession, Bagans acquired the box and continues to present it as authentic. He even filmed an episode of Ghost Adventures around it, hinting that rapper Post Malone suffered bad luck after handling it. The Dybbuk Box has become the museum's holy relic, surrounded by glowing lights and glass barriers. Visitors are told it radiates evil energy. They sign additional waivers before viewing it. The irony is that the object's true power comes not from spirits but from storytelling, a viral myth transformed into a profitable exhibit. The same logic applies throughout the museum. The Devil's Rocking Chair, tied to the so-called "Devil Made Me Do It" case, is displayed as evidence of demonic possession despite contradictory statements from the family involved. Peggy the doll, another major attraction, is said to curse anyone who mocks her, but there is no record of genuine harm. Visitors are instructed to greet her politely to avoid nightmares, a ritual that turns superstition into participatory theater. Beyond the haunted objects lies the museum's darker core, its fascination with murderabilia. Entire rooms are devoted to killers and crimes. There's Ted Bundy's murder kit, Ed Gain's cauldron allegedly used to melt human remains, and the van of Dr. Jack Kevorkian, infamous for his assisted suicides. Charles Manson's ashes have been mixed into paintings, his dentures displayed in glass, and artwork smeared with his bodily fluids hung like sacred relics. The museum even includes photos of Robert Berdella's torture victims, real images of suffering presented as macabre decor. Critics argue this is exploitation disguised as education. These are not haunted relics but reminders of real violence, and turning them into attraction strips away dignity and context. The line between memorial and spectacle disappears. What was once horror becomes curiosity, and tragedy becomes product. Bagans's defense is that he's preserving history, but the displays lack reflection or sensitivity. There are no discussions about victims, no ethical framing, only the promise of chills. Visitors continue to pay. Admission starts at $54, with RIP tours costing up to $86. Merchandise fills the gift shop, t-shirts, candles, and even ghost hunting gear branded with the museum's logo. For an extra fee, guests can explore restricted rooms or view additional, forbidden artifacts. Every aspect of the experience feeds into the same narrative, that the objects are dangerous. That Bagans is their guardian, and that fear itself has monetary value. The Haunted Museum's power lies not in its artifacts but in the psychology behind them. Humans are wired to find meaning in patterns, to link coincidences to cause. When we hear that an object is cursed, every misfortune afterward feels like proof. The mind, primed for fear, fills in the blanks. This is why a creaky floorboard sounds like a whisper and a flickering light feels like a sign. Bagans's museum manipulates these instincts expertly, transforming suggestion into sensation. The science behind such experiences is well documented. Expectation, atmosphere, and social influence can trigger real physical responses, racing heartbeats, chills, even hallucinations. The museum's dim lighting and claustrophobic layout heighten anxiety. When visitors are told they might encounter demons, their brains release adrenaline, amplifying every sound and shadow. What feels supernatural is often the body's response to stress. Yet, Bagans presents this physiological effect as evidence of ghosts, reinforcing the illusion that his objects are alive. The ethical issue isn't that he stages scares, it's that he markets them as truth. When a known hoax like the Dybbuk Box is sold as genuine, or when real human suffering is displayed for shock value, the line between storytelling and deceit is erased. Guests believe they are witnessing paranormal evidence, but they're watching a highly engineered performance built on manipulation. The museum's most disturbing quality may not be its contents but its underlying philosophy, that fear can be monetized indefinitely. Bagans has perfected a loop of belief and profit. His television fame gives credibility to his claims. The museum reinforces that fame. Each viral story draws more visitors, who in turn share their experiences online, attracting even more believers. The cycle continues, with skepticism drowned out by spectacle. To understand why people keep coming, it helps to look beyond the museum itself. Humans have always been drawn to cursed objects. Ancient Egyptians carved warnings onto tombs to ward off grave robbers. Medieval legends told of screaming skulls that punished those who disturbed them. In Japan, dolls are said to contain souls and are ceremonially burned when they grow old. Every culture carries tales of objects imbued with power, danger, or death. These stories endure because they offer a sense of mystery in a world where everything else can be explained. They transform chaos into narrative. If an antique mirror causes misfortune, then the fear has a name, a curse, a spirit, a meaning. Believing in cursed artifacts gives people a way to confront mortality safely. It's a form of controlled terror, a ritual rehearsal for the unknown.